What if I told you that time travelers may have already been here? Not in movies, not in fiction, but in real life. People who appeared out of nowhere, who knew things they shouldn't, who left behind stories so detailed, so convincing, that millions believed them. But there's something unsettling about these cases, because the deeper you look, the more they begin to fall apart. And yet, they never disappear. In 2003, a man appeared in the financial world and did something that shouldn't be possible. His name was Andrew Carlson. At first, nothing about him seemed unusual, just another investor, another trader. But within days, something changed. In just 2 weeks, he turned a small amount of money into hundreds of millions, not through luck, not through risky bets, but through perfect decisions. Every single trade was successful, no hesitation, no mistakes. Imagine knowing exactly when to buy, exactly when to sell. It didn't make sense. Authorities stepped in quickly because there was only one logical explanation. He had access to information he wasn't supposed to have. Insider trading, illegal knowledge. But during interrogation, Carlson gave an explanation that made no sense at all. He said he was from the future, that he had traveled back in time, with knowledge of the markets. He claimed it was easy, too easy, and that's what got him caught. He even offered something in return, information about future events, things that hadn't happened yet, scientific breakthroughs, global events, things that could be verified. But then, the story takes a strange turn, because when investigators tried to verify his identity, they found nothing. No records, no past, no trace of him existing before that moment. And then, it gets even stranger. He was released, his bail paid by an unknown individual, someone no one could identify. No name, no history, no explanation. And after that, Andrew Carlson disappeared, completely. No trial, no follow-up, no closure, almost like he was never there. But here's the truth. There was no arrest, no FBI case, no real investigation, because the entire story originated from a fictional tabloid article, a story designed to entertain, not to inform. And yet, it spread across the world, as if it were real. So if something completely fictional can feel this real, what else have we believed? Years before the internet, another story began to circulate, one that sounded even more convincing. In 1950, a man allegedly appeared in Times Square, out of nowhere. Witnesses said he looked confused, lost, as if he didn't understand where he was. He stared at the buildings, the lights, the cars, like he had never seen anything like it before. Moments later, he stepped into the street and was hit by a taxi. He didn't survive, but what investigators found made the story unforgettable. In his pockets, old coins, currency no longer in use, a letter dated 1876, receipts from businesses that no longer existed. Everything about him belonged to another time, even his clothes. The fabric, the stitching, the style, completely outdated. His name, Rudolph Fentz. Police searched records, and eventually, they found something. A missing person report from decades earlier. A man with the same name, who had vanished without a trace. It sounded like proof. A man who disappeared in the past and reappeared in the future. But once again, the truth was different. There were no official police records, no real case files. Because this story was originally part of a science fiction narrative, a short story written in the 1950s, fiction that slowly transformed into fact. But not every story can be dismissed so easily. Some exist in a much stranger space, between reality and something else. In the early 1900s, a man named Paul Amadeus Dinich experienced something unusual. He fell into a deep coma, a state between life and death. But when he woke up, he claimed he wasn't in his own time anymore. According to his writings, he had awakened in the year 3906, not as a visitor, but as a consciousness, living inside another person, in a distant future, a world transformed. He described a civilization far more advanced than ours, a society with different values, different systems, a different understanding of reality itself. He wrote about knowledge that didn't exist in his time, ideas that felt ahead of everything. But here's what makes his story different. He didn't try to prove it. He didn't try to convince anyone. He simply documented it, as if it had happened to him, as if it were real. So what was it? A dream? A neurological event? A mind trying to make sense of something unknown? Or something else entirely? There's no clear answer, and that's what makes it unsettling. Because sometimes, the most convincing stories are the ones we can't fully explain. There's a piece of footage allegedly showing a female time traveler talking on a cell phone in 1938. Factory workers coming out of a DuPont factory in Massachusetts. A normal day, nothing unusual, until you notice one detail. A woman in the crowd. She's holding something to her ear, talking, pausing, responding, as if she's having a conversation, with no one there. For years, people believed this was proof. A time traveler, using a cell phone decades before it existed. The footage spread, analyzed, debated, but eventually, an explanation emerged. In 2013, someone came forward claiming that the woman in the video was her great-grandmother, Gertrude Jones. The individual contacted a YouTube account called PlanetCheck and explained. She was 17 years old. I asked her about the video, and she remembers it quite clearly. She said DuPont had a telephone communications section at the DuPont factory. They were experimenting with wireless telephones. Gertrude and 5 other women were given these devices to test for a week. In the footage, Gertrude is talking to one of the scientists, who is holding another wireless phone just off to her right as she walks by. So far, there has been no independent verification of PlanetCheck's post. So what do all these stories have in common? They feel real. They sound convincing. They create just enough mystery to make us believe. But in the end, they reveal something deeper, not about time travel, but about human nature. Our curiosity, our imagination, our need to find meaning in the unknown. Because sometimes, we don't just want answers. We want something more, something bigger, something impossible. And maybe that's why these stories never truly disappear. Because even when they're explained, debunked, or proven false, the idea remains. What if just one of them was real? Unfortunately, I don't have the answers. I'm just showing you the pieces. What you choose to believe is entirely up to you. Stay curious. Until next time, peace.